Yes, Suman, you can go ahead.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So, good morning, good evening, and greetings to everybody. We are on day 5 of the workshop now, and we have been exploring various things about human being, human's aspiration, human goal, how to achieve it, and we ventured into understanding a human being as a coexistence of self and body, and then we went on to see the details about each of them, that is the self and what goes on in the self, and also we saw about body and how the self is responsible for the body, and body is a very sophisticated instrument that we have at our disposal for various activities or behavior that we want to execute. But ultimately, self is this is the seer, is the doer, and is the enjoyer. So everything happens in the self. So today, and then we also started exploring about relationships, that is, human-human relationships, and how harmony in family could be achieved, because in a family, human beings are interacting with each other, and if we understand the human-human relationship better, then we can interact with other human beings in a fulfilling manner, and we can also be at comfort and provide comfort to people around us. So let's continue the exploration. So briefly, I will mention about the self and the body. So we have seen that the self needs happiness, and continuous happiness is the aspiration of self, is the need of the self, and physical facilities and cater to the needs of the body in terms of nurturing, protection, and right utilization. And for the fulfillment of this continuous happiness, right understanding is required in the self, and the right feelings are also required in the self. Whereas for the nurturing, protection, and right utilization of the body, food, clothing, and shelter, such etc., etc., various gadgets and everything, instruments that we use, all those are required for the body. And we also propose that by trying to meet the needs of the self using the physical facilities, we are trying to achieve something impossible, because all the facilities can only provide temporary happiness to the self. Similarly, so what is required for meeting the need of the self is the right understanding and the right feelings. Now, how do these right feelings come in? If we have the right understanding about relationships, then we can have right feelings in us. And when we have right feelings in us, then we are comfortable. First thing, there is harmony within us. And then in our interactions with others, there is harmony. So the other is also comfortable interacting with the other, with us. And we also saw that in the self there are a lot of desires, and thinking happens in the self. The selection and expectation happens in the self. And we also mentioned in the last session how these desires are silently, I mean, without our knowledge, they come and get accumulated within us. They kind of pile up within us, and we are not aware of what desires we have, what are the kind of images we have within us in the form of these desires. So the proposal is to be conscious and cautious about the desires. And if we align these desires with that of natural acceptance, then there is some noise. Can you please mute? Yeah, thank you. So if these desires, and basically this desire thinking and selecting aligns with the natural acceptance of us, that is each one of us, the natural acceptance is there in every self within us. So if we try to pay attention to that and align with that, then there will be harmony in these desires, thinking, and selection, and there won't be conflicts even within the desires and with our in our participation at various levels of our living. And we notice that this part of the self is what we refer to as mind. Imagination happens in that, and memory is also part of this. And this natural acceptance part is our innateness, our swattva, and right understanding is actually part of this. And once we have this access to this right understanding and innateness, then we can align with that and be in harmony within ourselves. And having this mind part being driven by our own innate nature is referred to, we are calling it as Swatantrata. And this being taken over by conditioning from outside, others, books, etc., without revalidating what it is, then we are calling it as Paratantrata. So we said that we should be cautious about what is going on in us, whether we are Swatantra or we are Paratantra, and what do we want to be. So with that about the self, then we went on to explore the family, the harmony in family, and we saw that the relationships between human beings, and especially between the self and the self, and the feelings that are there between two human beings are definite in nature. What definite means? They are there, whether we are able to observe them in that innateness itself, in that in natural acceptance of a human being. The feelings are present, and we can recognize them and fulfill them. We'll try to explore more on how to recognize them and how to fulfill them. And when this fulfillment happens, that results to nyaya in relationships, that is justice in relationships. And we also mentioned that there are total 9 feelings that which we are going to explore in relationships. Those are listed down as trust, respect, affection, care, guidance, reverence, glory, gratitude, and love. So let's explore each of these feelings and how to ensure these feelings. We are going to define each of them precisely because when we use the word trust, it could be everybody has a different meaning for trust. Similarly, respect has many more meanings. So we are going to actually precisely define these each feelings, and then try to see how we can ensure these feelings within each one of us to have that harmony within us, and also comfort for the others. Okay, let's try to understand the feeling of trust. So before going into understanding what the feeling of trust is, I want to ask 4 questions, and I request you all to respond with your answers in the chat window. So I would like to ask these questions to you all. So the first question that I want to ask is, you can respond with a yes or no, or maybe, or if you have any other answer in the chat window. Okay, the first question I want to ask is, do I want to make myself happy? Do I want to make myself happy? Okay, everybody says yes. Okay, great. So this is a yes. Do I want to make the other happy? The second question that I have is, do I want to make the other happy? Yes. One person says depends, but everybody says yes. Okay. So let me mark that as a yes. Do I want to make the other happy? Yes. Then the third question I want to ask is, does the other want to make himself happy? Does the other want to make himself happy? Yes, absolutely yes. Not sure. Why not? Who am I to decide? It's his personal decision. Yes. Not sure, yes. So yeah, can you reflect upon it? Does the other want to make himself happy? Yes. So most of you, like there is like 80% yes, their inner feeling, and some are saying obvious. Okay. Now the fourth question I want to ask is, Does the other want to make me happy? Does the other want to make me happy? This is the question. What is the answer? Not sure, depends, yes, not sure, maybe, not necessarily, not sure, maybe, debatable, may or may not be, may or may not be, maybe, may or may not, may or may not. Why would I need to depend on others to make me happy? Even that thought will hurt you. Depends, don't know, sometimes. Okay. So some of you are saying maybe, some of you are saying not sure. So yeah. So Vinod has responded saying that yes, 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 and maybe sometimes one of them could be contradictory. Okay, I expect so. So what we are seeing is that so we asked 4 questions and we tried to see what are the answers, that how we look at these 4 questions. Okay. So the first question was, do I want to make myself happy? And there was a unanimous yes, not even any doubt at all. Everybody said yes. And when I asked the second question, do I want to make the other happy? Also, we got a resounding yes. Most of the everybody, almost like only one person, I think, responded depends, but otherwise, everybody said yes. And third was also, does the other want to make himself happy? Everybody said yes. There were like very maybe 2 or 3 people saying that not sure. Okay. But when I asked the fourth question, does the other want to make me happy? There was a like almost 90% were 90 to 95% were not sure. There was not even a strong one yes from anybody. I think only one person, 1 or 2 people said yes, but 98% replied saying not sure, maybe, depends, don't even try it, all kinds of things. So what we are saying, what we are seeing here is that in the first 2 questions, we are talking about ourselves. When I talk about myself, when I talk about the question, do I want to make the other happy? Everybody said yes. So who are these others? These others in this, let's say all 100 people are attending this session. You said, do I want to make the other happy? Everybody said yes. So all the 99 people apart from you in this session actually want to make you happy. But whether we have that assurance? No. Everybody, we said, does the other want to make me happy? We all said, no, I don't know, not sure, maybe. On one end, we are saying, I want to make the other happy, but we have no guarantee about the other making me happy. So what we are seeing in this is that when I'm telling about myself, I'm very sure that I want to make the other happy. Whereas when I'm talking about the other, I'm not at all sure. Whereas that other is right here. If you take this 100 people as the whole world, the 100 people attending this workshop as the whole world, so everybody said they want to make the other happy, but if nobody is sure that the other wants to make them happy. This is actually a reflection of this same question. This other is nobody other than the same people like you. Just like you said, everybody, I want to make the other happy, whereas we are not able to see that the other wants to make me happy. This is itself lack of trust. So this is when we judge ourselves, we judge based on our intentions. I want to make the other happy. Whereas when we are judging the other, we are not looking at their wants. We are actually looking at whether they are able to make me happy or not. We are judging the other based on their ability. Whereas when we are looking at ourselves, we are telling it based on our intention, whether we want to make them happy or not. Yes, so this is a little, what you call, looks tricky here, but it is not really tricky. If you look at it yourself, when I'm talking about myself, I'm 100% sure that I want to make the other happy. First of all, I'm very sure that I want to make myself happy. And I'm also sure that I want to make the other happy. Whereas I'm not at all sure that the other wants me to be happy. Who is this other? He's also a human being like you. He also has the same natural acceptance. Just like you answered this question from your natural acceptance. Do I want to make the other happy? You got a yes here because you are answering from your natural acceptance, saying yes. When we are looking at the other, we are looking at their ability, not their natural acceptance. Right? So this is the main reason why we don't have trust on human beings. So trust is the assurance that the other wants me to be happy. Very simple. Yes, so if you answer yes for the second question, the answer should be same for the 4 also, because the other is also just like a human being, just like you. He or she is no different from you. Right? But when we are judging, when we are looking at analyzing, answering this question, when we are answering the question number 4, we are answering it based on their ability. Okay, so this fellow did not do all those things to make me happy, or this person never acted in a way that makes me happy. How can I say that he wants me to be happy? So suddenly I'm not sure. Whereas about me, I have also done many things that will make others unhappy. I have in the past. But I am not looking at my ability. I am looking at my intention. If possible, I really want everybody to be happy. Right? So this is a very important difference, that when we are judging ourselves, we are looking at our intention. But when we are trying to understand the other, we are looking at their ability. So we have to differentiate between this intention versus the competence. The ability part is competence. Sorry, something happened and it vanished. Just 1 second. I can take, if you have any questions, let me take a couple of questions while I try to fix this issue with the computer.
So, good morning, Sumanji. I'm Dr. Sindhuja.
Yes, ma'am. Sindhuja, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is to look at question 4 from the same perspective as question 2.
Correct.
The want, the key word being want.
Yes, correct.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. So the question was about the want. The question was not about the ability. If the question was about the ability, then obviously, maybe not sure all this would have made a sense. But the question was not about the ability. The question was about the want. So this reflects in our general behavior also. So when we look at ourselves, we try to look at the want of ours, whereas when we try to look at the other, we respond to them or react to them based on their abilities, not on their wants.
Yeah, but for question 2, none of us, so the 100 of us, had no confusion.
Yes, correct.
But for the 4th question, everybody was in doubt, right?
Correct. Yes, that's the problem. That is what we are trying to draw the attention to. That In question 2, when there is no confusion, why are we having confusion in question 4? That is the whole point that we are trying to draw the attention to.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. The screen is coming. Sorry for the interruption.
Sir,
If,
sir, in
yeah.
that second question, everyone is saying yes, but that
Yes.
is as per Giri sir, the person is not revealing truth. If he says yes, the other person, I want to make other person to be happy. As Giri sir says, everyone is wishing, respecting, saying some namaskar or something, but inside he is hiding his reality. Similarly, I think all the people, most of the people saying the second question yes, they are not revealing their facts. Okay, that's my answer.
Okay. Thank you. My response to that is that um, are we given a choice? So whether it is in our limits, whether it's our ability, whether it's in our possibility, all the ifs and conditions, if we put aside, if there is a chance to make somebody, or if I want to just see whether I need to make them happy or not is a separate question. Whether I want to just see them happy or not, whether I want them to be happy, whether that involves my interaction, whether it involves my contribution. It doesn't have to be even my relative. It can be somebody sitting somewhere in other part of the world. Okay, that just the moment I think about that person, do I want that person to be happy or not? That's the question we are asking. If we try to look at ourselves, deep within ourselves, why not? Why would I want somebody to be unhappy? That's the kind of answer we get from within ourselves. So that is our natural acceptance, saying that why would I want somebody to be unhappy? If possible, I want everybody on this earth to be happy. And that's what everybody told in the day one also. How do we want to see this world? Everybody said the first word that came is we want everybody to be happy. So we are not trying to create or invent anything here. It's there. We are just trying to access it. The thing we are trying to draw the attention to is that when I am looking at myself, I am looking at my natural acceptance, my intention, whereas when I'm looking at the other, I'm looking at their ability. Right? So then I will go. So that is the trust. So when I have that assurance, that the other also wants me to be happy, just like I want them to be happy, when I have that assurance, that feeling of assurance about this intention of the other is trust. If I have that assurance, how will my behavior be? How will my feelings be? Let's try to look at that. If I don't have that assurance, how will my response be when somebody behaves in a particular way or in a particular manner? How is my response if I have this assurance and if I don't have this assurance? Let's try to think about that. If in fact all anger is mainly lack of this assurance. The moment we are angry, we have somewhere doubted the intention of that person. We have doubted the intention and the fact that the other wants me to be happy. That's when we get immediately irritated and angry and react to that other person. So I'll give you an example. For example, so suppose a child is playing with something, a cup or something, and by mistake it falls down and it breaks. Okay, on most occasions we empathize with the kid. Okay, the kid didn't know how to handle the cup. He didn't really want me to get irritated or didn't want to really stress me out. So we don't really go very harsh on the child. We go, okay, please don't do this again. You shouldn't play with the cup like this. It may fall down and break. So we should be more careful. That's how we will respond to that child, because we didn't really doubt the intention of the child. Whereas the same thing, if it happens from an adult's hand, look at the kind of responses we often give. Can't you be careful? Don't know that the cups, you have to be more careful with these cups. These are so costly. We have carefully selected them. So what is happening there when we are saying like that to an adult versus a child? in the intention of the child we didn't doubt, whereas the intention of the adult we have trusted, we have doubted. We want we are responding to that other person based on the other person's competence. So let's actually draw those two differences between the two on the intention versus competence. So first, I want to be happy. You all said yes. I want to make the other happy. You all said yes. Third one, the other wants to be happy. Also, there was a yes. The other wants to make me happy. Suddenly not sure. Now let's look another set of questions. I request you all to respond with your answers in the chat box for these also. I am always happy. I am always happy. The second, what was the answer? Not true, yes. Some of you are saying yes, no, not true. Okay, let's put maybe a question mark here. Okay, we'll put that later. Then the second question I'm asking is, I always make the other happy. Is this statement true? I always make the other happy. Sometimes, may or may not, no, most of the times, sometimes, not necessarily all the times. Okay, so there's a question mark there also. Then the second part of this question is, third question is, the other is always happy. What is the answer for this? Maybe, no, not true, not sure, maybe. Okay. The fourth part is, the other always makes me happy. What is the answer to this one? Not sure, no, no, no. So yeah, not sure here. Not sure here. Not sure here. Here also not sure, but there are more no's here. Okay. All right. So the difference between the left side and the right side questions is, this part is asking about the intention of, we are asking questions about the intention, and here we are asking about competence. Competence means ability of the person. So if is able to, the other always makes. So we are asking questions about abilities here, whereas the questions here were about the wants, what I want, right? So as far as competence is concerned, my ability also is doubtful. The other's ability is also doubtful. I am not able to keep myself always happy. Sometimes I'm able to keep. Sometimes I am not able to keep. Similarly, I am not able to keep the other also happy all the time. So the second question was also not sure. Sometimes I'm able to keep them happy for a little bit of time. Sometimes not able to. So the second question also is a doubtful one. The third question, the other is always happy. That's also not sure, because just like me, the other also is not having the ability to keep themselves happy. Then the fourth question, the other always makes me happy. This was a definite no kind of an answer, but some of you said not sure also. But again, the same thing. The other's ability here we are talking about. So ability wise, our ability is also doubtful, their ability also is doubtful. Whereas the intention wise, we were very sure about our intention, but when it comes to the other, this other could be my own spouse, my own child, my own parents, my own cousins, my own colleagues, or anybody, somebody on the stranger on the road. So, but I mean, in general, okay, one thing I want to talk about in the relationships is when we're reflecting on all these questions and responding to all the questions and thinking about them, let's start with thinking about our closest people, that is our closest family members, and it will help us think in the right direction. Okay, so yeah, please remember that whenever we are thinking and reflecting upon these questions, let's think about our closest relationships in the form of our parents, spouse, children, etc. Right? So when I'm talking about, when we are looking at the intention of myself, I am very, very sure, but when I'm looking at the intention of the other, I'm not sure. So this is the problem with the trust. Why am I not able to get a feeling of trust? So we were talking about identifying the feelings within us and fulfilling them, right? So that's what is about understanding the relationships. So in a human relationship, to have trust is to be able to see this, and when I see this, when I am able to see this, that the other is also just like me, and if I am sure about the intention of myself, I can also be similarly sure about the intention of the other. Then I can have a feeling of, I can have this feeling of assurance in me, and this will show up in the behavior. When I am behaving with the others, this feeling of trust, if I have, and can I have this with one person, two persons? I can have with any person, because all human beings have this same natural acceptance. They want to be happy and they want to make the others happy. So this feeling I can have, trust, this feeling of trust, I can have the assurance about the other's intentions is very much. And what does it need? Does this need any facilities to have this feeling? It just needs the understanding about the relationship. It just needs the understanding about our natural acceptance, about the natural acceptance of every human being. It doesn't need even a single rupee to have this feeling. Now the fulfillment may need resources. Like for example, I want to express my feeling of, some feeling I want to express. I may give a hug. I may put namaste. I can touch their feet. I can probably hug sometimes, or I may give a gift. I may do various things. As far as the competence is concerned, I may help them in achieving something. I may guide them. So all this comes under the competence part. I may need resources here, but to have this feeling of trust, no physical facilities are required. That's the beauty of these feelings. And this is not something created. We are not creating these feelings. They are there in each one of us. We need to actually see them within us and fulfill them. What means fulfillment is to have them in us. And when we have them, when we have a feeling of trust, our self is filled with harmony in our relationships, and the other also feels comfortable when interacting with us. So when I'm interacting with others, when something happens, if I behave with this assurance that the other wants me to be happy, our response will be different. Whereas, so for example, somebody comes and shouts at me or does something, I have this thought in mind, or this understanding in me, that the other is probably shouting at me because of their own frustration. Something happened in their workplace, or they are having a bad day. It could be anything, but they are not really trying to make me unhappy. If given a choice, it's their inability that is making them behave that way. If I am able to see that point, then my response is completely different. I would be more concerned about the other instead of being showing my reverse frustration on that person. I would be concerned what happened to this person. So in fact, this we see very clearly. When a child cries or when he is behaving crankily, or is not listening to or anything. So we think, is the child hungry? Is the child didn't get enough sleep? Maybe it's their nap time. He's not feeling well. This is how we would think when a child is often. Whereas the same thing for an adult, if they are behaving because of having some health issue or some frustration that they are having and they are expressing, we would think that, okay, this fellow has started off. That's how we think. They want me to make me unhappy. Whereas the reality is that they want me to make me happy, but they are not able to. They are not able to manage their emotions. They're not able to manage their behavior, and they're not. There is some imbalance created. So I would be concerned. How can I do? What can I do to make this person, comfortable? That's how I would look at it. If I have that assurance that on the intention of the person, right? So this is about the intention and competence. So typically, I will only take up one question, which is very common question. So what if? How can I trust everybody, and I would be taken advantage of? Right? Yeah. Okay. Kusuma Jeet, can you go ahead and ask your question? What's the question?
Sir, regarding this fourth point, totally I'm confused.
Which fourth point? The 4B?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, what we are saying is in all the 4 questions on the right side, they are related to the ability, my ability and the others' ability to keep ourselves happy and to keep the others happy. So we said, am I always happy? No, I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm able to, sometimes I'm not able to. Am I always able to make the other happy? That also we said, not sure. Sometimes I'm able to keep the others happy, make the others happy. Sometimes I'm not able to. And the third question was, is the other always happy? No, the other is also not happy. They are also having their own problems. So then we said, not sure. And the fourth one was, the other always makes me happy. That is a definite no. The others are creating a lot of problems for me. How are they keeping me happy? So all the four questions are no. And if we see, all the questions are related to the ability, not about the intention of the persons. Whether it is my ability. So the first 2 questions are talking about my ability to keep myself happy and the other happy. And the last 2 questions were talking about the other's ability to keep themselves happy and to keep me happy. Both the abilities are not sure. Both of us, I don't have the ability and the other also don't have the ability sometimes. Sometimes we have abilities, sometimes we don't have abilities, right? Whereas the intention part, when I'm talking about myself, I'm saying that my intention is good, but the other's intention, I'm not sure. So what we are saying is, generally in our relationships, when we are looking at the other in some situation or in a particular incident, we look at us from our own intention point of view. Whereas when we look at the others, we are looking at them from their ability point of view instead of looking at them, because the other's intention is also same as mine. They also want me to be happy. They also want to make me happy, given a choice. But unfortunately, they are not able to. Now, this ability is something. It can be improved, can be helped, or they can try to improve themselves. That's all possible. But what we need to see is the other's intention with respect to me. If I can see this intention on the other, that they also wants me to be happy and they also wants to make me happy, then I have this feeling of assurance about the other. The feeling of assurance that the other, we wrote the definition of, let me write it again. Trust is the assurance that the other I'm underlining the word wants me to be happy. Right? So if I have this assurance, then I have a feeling of trust on the other. If I don't have this assurance that the other wants me to be happy, then I don't have the feeling of trust on the other. So in our day-to-day interactions, we can see how many people we have trust on and how many people we don't have trust on.
Yep. Understood, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, one question from Suman garu.
Yeah, Hemant ji, please.
Yeah, in the intentions, for the fourth point, you said like the other wants to make me happy. So the expectation is like yes, right, sir? Answer.
Yeah, we should be confident about this also. Just like we are confident about the question number 2, this answer also, if we get a yes here, then I have a feeling of trust.
Okay, sir. My question is I met a person for the first time, so I don't know him earlier. So for the first time itself, I am feeling hard to say yes because I don't know about him. So I don't know what kind of person he is. That kind of question is there in my mind. So let us assume that in the case 1, he is like just like a group member currently in the same group. So I hardly felt okay, and I feel as so. Let us assume that in the case 2, he is my some partner, some investment partner or something. So I thought usually like definitely I should know about him after some research or after some communication. I'll come to a conclusion about him. So accordingly I'll be confined. So in that case, after some conversation with him or after some flow in between, after some time, so I am able to understand about him and I'll conclude like okay. So at that time I'm feeling okay. So for saying yes, but at the first time itself, that feeling I'm feeling hard to say that yes as a for everyone. I'm not able to feel that. So that is my point. Share, Suman.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll respond to that. So, yeah, can you please, yeah, you can go on mute because if your 2 of us are talking, then it will cause a disturbance.
Yeah.
I'll respond to that. Yeah, thank you. So, so your question, I mean, I understand your point. So, let's say we have a partner or we have somebody who took money and who did not return it to me, or I have somebody at my office, he always irritates me. Then so all kinds of and there are so many issues with my spouse. How can I say that that person wants me to be happy? So this is what we are saying. So in all these explanations that we are saying, we need to observe that we are telling that see, somebody taking money and not able to return it is a matter of competence, not their intention. Given a choice, they would also want to be the best person towards you, right? But they are not able to, whatever be the reasons, whether it is their indiscipline or inability or whatever it is, for n number of reasons, they are not keeping their words. So somebody said that I'll come to you at 9 o'clock in the morning, but they did not turn up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's their inability to keep up their word, for example. Now you're saying, how can I trust that person? So what we are saying is, we are not asking you to trust the competence of the person. Okay, that's a different thing. So trust is about the intention of the person, right? So competence could be anything. We have to evaluate competence. For example, let's say you have a company, right? And in your company, you develop software. Somebody has applied for that. You have a job position. Somebody has applied for that. Now you are going to decide whether that the 10 people have applied for it. So I have full assurance about their intention to make me happy. So let me hire. How can I decide on whom to hire? So ability is a different thing. Intention is a different thing. You have the assurance about intention for all those 10 people. But let's say only one of them are able to actually develop that software which you need to do in the company. Then you will take that person only. Not because the intention of everybody is good. You can't take everybody in, right? So similarly, if some person has taken money and has not returned it, that is his inability. That is a lack of competence on his part. So if you have not judged properly on the competence before giving the money, next time we will be careful, or we will stay away from that person without giving the money next time, or do something or the other to get that money back. These are all matters of competence. But as far as this intention is concerned, first of all, like I said, let's reflect upon these things from in the close circles. So that's easy to reflect upon. So in the close circles, at least are we able to see that the other wants me to be happy, whether it's our own wife or husband, or kids, parents, brothers, cousins. There's so many issues in our close relationships itself. Brothers don't talk to each other because that brother has never called, that fellow has not called me in 3 months. So I don't have the confidence on his intention. Suddenly I lost confidence on the intention because that person did not call me for 3 months. So if I really trust the intention of that person and that person has not called me for 3 months, I would be concerned. Why did this fellow not call me for 3 months? Let me call and find out what is happening in his life. That would be the approach if we have the feeling of assurance that the other wants me to be happy. This example also I keep taking. So it's your birthday and your close friend did not call. This is especially happens in the students and youngsters' lives. So your close friend did not call you and wish you on your birthday. If you really have this assurance that the other wants me to be happy, what would you do? Would you stop talking to that friend because they did not call you on birthday, or would you call that friend and say, "Hey, how can my birthday be complete without your wishes? So maybe you forgot it. So come on, at least now you wish me." That's how it would be our response. So this assurance that the other wants me to be happy is a very important feeling, and that's what is all about trust. So please reflect upon it, and this is doesn't have to be even with our close people. Any human being, by innateness, that natural acceptance in every human being will make them to want everybody around also to be happy. Okay, so that's just a proposal. You don't have to immediately accept it or not accept it, but at least we can start reflecting upon these from our close circles, from our parents, with spouses, kids, and at this level. Whether it is children or parents or anybody, when we lose patience, if you are losing patience, if you are getting angry on the child or on the parent or anybody, that means we have lost trust even for that one moment on them. For one moment, we have lost trust on them, that they want me to be happy. Yeah, this is my proposal. Please reflect upon it. And then later we realize, oh, I shouldn't have behaved like that. He must have be having his own problems. He must have been tired. That's why he's behaving like this. Then we later repent. But on that moment, when we were getting frustrated because of the other's behavior, we have lost trust on the other. Wants me to be happy. Yeah, please reflect upon that. And if we have this awareness that the other wants me to be happy, whenever we are responding, so like we said the other day, the self is getting all the information from others. Like when the other is behaving, we are getting information from our eyes, ears, and everything. Ultimately, the self is having this analysis and responding to the other. So when responding, are we aware about this fact? The other wants me to be happy. If you are aware of it, then we won't. We can be free of anger, free of frustration, free of all kinds of things, and we can respond in a very sensible and balanced manner.
Hello. Good morning, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, we'll take this one question. We have to go into respect also. Yeah, please go ahead.
So when we get angry and frustrated towards other person, isn't it that because of pre-conditioning we are getting that we are feeling like that, or it is because of lack of trust actually?
Yeah, I
Because we are
mean,
conditioned to
preconditioning.
certain things, right? So that's the reason we expect something, we are conditioned like that. So that's the reason we get angry. I think it is because of that, right? It's not because of lack of stress, because actually natural acceptance is not against stress. We have the stress, but then because of the preconditionings, we just tend to be angry with each other, and we just behave with each other in negative way.
Mhm.
Isn't it that
Yeah.
because of?
Yeah, I mean, you can, I mean, it's your ultimately your feeling, right? At that moment, what is happening within you and each one of us, it's up to, I mean, we have to see within us. I can't tell about what is happening you, and I can't tell about what
No,
is
no, no,
happening
no.
in
It is
anybody.
not. No, I'm not asking about my
No, no, yeah,
individual
yeah, yeah,
feelings.
yeah.
No, it's a
Let me
feeling.
complete.
I'm generally talking about the feelings.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Let me
whenever
complete, ma'am.
any person, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it could be conditioning also, like some we have seen in the movies or here or there, that when somebody shouts at us, this is how we respond. So when somebody teases,
It is
uh,
conditioning, and one is the means conditioning, which is leading ultimately for lack of understanding, right? It is both conditioning and understanding. Lack of understanding is leading to that anger and negativity in ourselves. But it is not because of lack of trust, because everyone we have by natural acceptance we trust, but then because of conditioning only, I think that is it, right?
right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's true. I mean, it ultimately whatever is happening in myself, which is not aligned with my natural acceptance, is
Yeah,
conditioning, right?
yeah,
So
but
if we have to, yeah, 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 please go ahead.
yeah, but the natural acceptance comes with trust only, right? It is the basics, the basic value, right? It cannot be against natural acceptance. So because it is universally true. So then we cannot say that it is because of lack of trust. I think it is because of preconditioning, right? So once the preconditionings are removed from our mindset, then maybe we can trust everyone, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you're right, ma'am. So
Yeah.
So a lack of trust is manifesting in us in the form of frustrations, anger, and all these things because in our mind we have accumulated a lot of things which are not in alignment with our natural acceptance. So
No,
our
no. Here
natural
my
accept
question is: it is lack of trust, or it is because of preconditioning?
both are same. Lack of trust is preconditioning. Both are the same thing. That's what I'm trying to tell. It's not two different things. If I am not able to this the fact that the other wants to make me happy is natural acceptance, and if I am not able to see this, that means I am acting on the conditioning. So lack of trust is conditioning. It's the same thing. So whether it can't be either conditioning or lack of trust. It's the same thing. Both are one and the other. So if I'm aware of the fact that the other wants me to be happy, then I am in accordance with my natural acceptance and not acting as per my conditioning.
No,
And then
according to the yeah,
yeah.
according to the natural acceptance, we all want others to keep happy. So we all trust actually,
We all
because
trust, but does that show up in our behavior
yeah,
is the
that is
question.
because
If
of
it is,
preconditioning, right? It doesn't show up because we are conditioned in a certain way. So by according to the natural acceptance, I trust myself, I also trust you. There's a reason I want to keep yourself happy, but I'm not able to keep you happy because I'm conditioned in certain way right from my childhood. To look after myself and my family and look after others as strangers and not to trust them. So that is a condition I have, I have right from the childhood. That's the reason. It's not because of lack of stress. I trust according to the natural acceptance. I trust that is the reason I believe that I also want others to make happy, but I'm not able to do it because of the conditionings.
yeah, I
So
mean,
that's how I
actually,
understand.
yeah, what I understand is we are talking about the same thing. But I would suggest that if you have more questions, let's take them up in the discussion session because others are also here, right? So
Sure, 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 sure.
so for as far as I understand, we both are talking about the same thing. So my proposal to you all is that if we are not able to see this fact that the other wants me to make me happy, then we are not accessing our natural acceptance. Our natural acceptance is actually saying that the other also wants to make me happy. Okay.
For this matter, we can trust the parents, no, sir?
Everybody, ma'am.
For fourth A and fourth B, we can trust only the parents, but not anybody else. Fourth A and fourth B.
This on the A is on the left side, you mean saying? This fourth A, you mean?
For both for A and 4A and 4B, we can trust only parents.
Okay. You mean the other wants to make me happy? You're saying we can trust this only for the parents and not for anybody else? Is that what you're saying, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, please reflect upon it, whether we can say that for our children, whether we can say that for our spouses, whether we can say that for our brothers and sisters and cousins or not. Yeah, please reflect upon it. My proposal is that we can say this for everybody, not just for parents or a small set of people. Our natural acceptance says that everybody wants to make me happy. They may not be able to make me happy. And if I'm able to see that everybody, just like I want to make everybody happy, if I'm able to see that the other also wants to make me happy, then I will have a feeling of trust in me. Otherwise, I will not have a feeling of trust in me, and I will not be comfortable within me when I'm interacting with anybody. Okay, please reflect upon this. I understand this is a new thing, new way of looking at things. But yeah, kindly think about it. We'll take up questions in the discussion. We know that there will be a lot of questions about this. This is natural that there will be many questions. So please reflect upon this, whether the other wants to make, just like I want to make the other happy, the other also wants to make me happy. And just like I am not able to make the other happy always, it's my ability. I don't have the ability to make others happy. Some people I'm able to make happy sometimes, but not always, that also. Similarly, the other is also not able to make me happy all the time. So when the other is not able to make me happy, we don't have to doubt the intention. It is their ability part. If there is no ability, so for example, if a friend is there, I know that he is always late. So I know his ability that he never keeps up his time to come to come on time. So what will I do if I'm aware of the fact that his ability is lacking, but I have the confidence on his intention? What I would do, I would call up ahead, half an hour before or 1 hour before. Did you wake up? Are you getting ready? Okay, I'm starting. I'm calling. I can also confidently say that you always come late. That's why I'm reminding. You don't feel bad about it. So then I will call 10 minutes or 15 minutes before. Then I'm almost reaching. Are you also there? So we have to do this because the ability is missing in the other. Similarly, I mean, ability is missing on many others. Now, other and me also. In my ability is also missing. So sometimes when we don't behave the way we wanted to, we are apologetic. We feel guilty about it and we feel sorry about it later. Similarly, the other will also feel sorry about it later. But the point is, at that moment, whether I'm able to recognize that the other wants to make me happy is the important thing. If I have that, I recognize that, then I have a feeling of trust towards the other, and I will behave with empathy towards the other. I don't react back on the other. So please reflect upon this. This is a very important thing. That this can change the whole perspective about relationships. So, for example, I can tell you some examples. When I'm talking in a classroom, for example, and I'm teaching something, I expect my students to be very sincere and listening to me, etc. And then suddenly I notice, suppose two kids in some bench giggling and laughing at each other, and they were also looking at me for a moment, suppose. Now, if I have the assurance that the other wants to make me happy, I can be stable. I can continue the class even though they are laughing. I don't be worried. But if I don't have this assurance, what will happen? Oh, these people are talking about me. They're making fun of me. They're cracking jokes on me. My focus is lost from actually the teaching part to that they're giggling, and I would feel so insecure standing on that stage, right? But if I have the assurance that the other also wants me to be happy, they may be cracking that joke. Maybe my lecture is boring or not interesting, so they are cracking that joke. Or they are in general not being sincere in the class. Then what I would do is after the class, maybe I may talk to them, try to be friendly with them. Why are you, guys not paying attention? So my approach will be completely different if I have the assurance that the other wants to be happy. Wants to make me happy. If I don't have that assurance, I would get frustrated, insecure when that kid is laughing in the class. I would get frustrated. I would get insecure. I would do all kinds of things. There is no one thing that is possible. We could do n number of things in that insecurity about that kid. So many situations. So for example, I write an email to my friend, okay? And I wrote a long emotional email to my friend, and that friend is somewhere else. I'm not able to even call that person, suppose something like foreign or something. And then that person has not responded for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And in the meantime, I'm doing all my imagination, all my assumptions are coming into picture. This fellow is always like that. He doesn't respond. This fellow, he doesn't care for me. I think he's my very good friend. He doesn't. I'm doing all these things. And on the 4th day or 5th day, that friend responds, hey, sorry, I was on a vacation. I didn't check your email till all these days. So sorry. And in these 4 days, I already wasted a lot of my mental energy. All possibilities I did not respond to that email. So if I had that assurance that the other wants to make me happy, I could have stayed peacefully till that response came in, right? Whereas what happens is we often go into the mindset of that fellow really does, deliberately does this, deliberately wants to make me unhappy. Even if that person is doing deliberately, we can try to understand why that has come into picture, whether it's upbringing, whether it is something going on in their person's life at that point. There will be some reason or the other. Because given a choice, they don't want to do that to us. I'll tell you one example of one thing that happened to me after this workshop and how I tried to. This has to be actually experienced in life. This theory will just vanish in a few moments after the class. But we have to actually try to see this in our own life, and only then we can start feeling these this feeling of trust towards others. I'll tell you what happened after this session. So this intention, competence, and okay. I think we have less time, so I'll just quickly finish this example and go to the respect topic. So after this session, I was walking to my canteen, and when I walked up to the canteen, one friend was coming in front of me. I said hi. He didn't respond to me. I was like, these people are saying everybody's intention is good. Look at this fellow. I said hi, and he did not respond. And then I went ahead. Then I thought, okay, let me ask why he didn't respond. So he was in front of me in the line in the canteen. With a lot of courage and with a lot of shy, I asked him, I just told you hi, right? Why didn't you respond? And he said, oh, I lost my purse. I was thinking about something. I didn't even notice that you said hi. So from the moment I said hi to asking that question and getting this answer, I was already imagining so many things. This fellow is always like this. He doesn't respond. And suddenly when he said that he did not even see me saying hi, I was suddenly taken, aback. That he didn't really mean to, hurt me or make me unhappy. It was my assumption that he wanted to make me unhappy. So many instances like that. So keep looking into your own relationships, keep reflecting upon this in your own relationships, and see how this will manifest. So let's move on to the next important feeling. I want to introduce about what is respect also. So we saw trust, and the next feeling, most important one. So trust is a foundational feeling, and respect. This is also one of the most misunderstood feelings. So let's get to what respect means. So respect actually means right evaluation. So if we rightly evaluate the other, the feeling that we get within us, that is respect. So let's go into more details on what this right evaluation is, what am I evaluating, and all that. So there are three wrong ways to evaluate. So for example, one is over evaluation. So for example, over evaluation means evaluating somebody more than what they are. So how do we do this? For example, oh, you are the greatest person, you are the best person I have ever met, you are there is nobody better than you. When somebody is saying this, do you feel comfortable? When somebody is flattering you like this, do you feel comfortable or uncomfortable? Somebody is over evaluating you. So there's no screen. There is screen. Yeah. So uncomfortable, right? So when somebody is flattering us more than what we deserve, or more than what we know we are, we feel uncomfortable. So over evaluation is to evaluate more than what it is. The second way is under evaluation. So under evaluation means to evaluate less than. Do we do this? Especially to children, sometimes without being aware, we keep doing this. You're not fit for anything at all. You are a useless fellow. So is this acceptable to? Do you think this will be acceptable to that kid or anybody to evaluate less than what it is? That is under evaluation. And the third form of disrespect is, so anything other than right evaluation is disrespect. Right? So over evaluation is disrespect, under evaluation is disrespect, other evaluation. So otherwise evaluation. So how do we do this? So we are calling, especially I'll use the local language, gadhe ho, for example. You're calling a human being a gadha. So you're telling that a human being is equivalent to an animal. So is that acceptable to anybody? So otherwise evaluation, to evaluate with something else. So all these are disrespects: over evaluation, under evaluation, otherwise evaluation, and they are not acceptable to any of us. We want right evaluation. So right evaluation would be the feeling of respect, having a feeling of respect for the other. So let's see what this right evaluation looks like. Okay. So I will ask you a question. I will draw a person. Okay. Let's assume this is some human being. What do we know about this human being? If it was a face-to-face, I would have called you on the stage, one volunteer. But let's say, don't tell man or a woman. This is any human being. So what do we know about this person? Let's try to find out. Can you tell, based on the last 5 days of this workshop, what do we know about this person? Body, happy. He wants to be happy. Okay. Human being. Nothing wants me to be happy. Okay. He wants me to be happy. Yeah, so we just discussed this in the trust, right? So okay, somebody said he also wants me to be happy. Less hair. Okay. We're not asking about this picture. We're asking about what we know about that person. So he also wants to be prosperous. Okay, nice. Self-expressed body. Okay, this person also has a self and a body. Wonderful. has a self, he's smiling. No, not the picture. Talk about the person. He wants him to be happy and make me happy. We already wrote that. Nothing regarding him can be made out, just physical appearance. I see. Interesting. A person in his natural acceptance. Looks like some problem in the right eye. Good person. He wants to make me happy. A person like me, he wants to be happy. Nice. Okay. So he wants to be happy, make me happy. These two we have written. He also lives at all 4 levels. Okay, wonderful. Lives at all 4 levels, just like me. Okay. He's also like me. Okay. He or she, we are not using gender. He's also like me. Let's use a he in general way. He's also like me. No, screen visible. It's not. Is it not visible? It's there, sir. Okay. We can come to some conclusions about his gesture and attitude. Okay. Trust in self plus others. Okay. Nice. So very nice. You've given some interesting inputs about the other based on at least our understanding in the. So he is a human. Excellent. Thank you. He is human. Nice. So we know something actually. You all said that, like, just like me, he also wants to be happy. He wants to make me happy. At least as per the proposals in this workshop, we know that they also want every human being, right? We said these are the aspirations of every human being on this earth. So whether it is this person that I drew here or any person on this earth, the screen is there, sir. Maybe you have to go to name Suman Yeleti and then pin me. Maybe you can see the screen. Okay, then every human being, we said in our previous sessions, there is a self and a body, right? So this person also would have a self and a body. Every human being wants to be prosperous. This person also wants to be prosperous, right? So the basic aspirations are similar like mine. Just like every human being lives at all 4 levels within themselves, with the body, with family, society, nature. This person also would be living. So initially we said nothing. So if you see the initial inputs, you all said, no, I don't know much about him, or we can't tell about him. Now we are saying, okay, you're telling more things. He has desires, wonderful. So you're getting to know more and more. We said we don't know anything, and we are telling a lot of things about the person. The I is also like us. Okay, I in itself is like us. So we have started evaluating the other. And we know a lot of information about the other. So can we evaluate the other based on this information? Any person for that matter. So that's what is right evaluation. So we started already evaluation of this person. So first thing is about the basic aspiration. So the basic aspiration of this person, what is it? Can you please tell, based on the sessions we had in the last 4-5 days? What is the basic aspiration of this person? To be happy and prosperous. I'm looking for one more word. Everybody is saying happiness. Continue. Yes, thank you. So the basic aspiration is happiness and prosperity continues. Okay, we already know a little bit about this person. And yeah, thank you. So you all have written it correctly. So the next thing is, what is the program of action to achieve this aspiration for this person? What is the program of action to achieve this happiness and prosperity in continuity? Right understanding, live at all 4 levels. Right understanding, self-verification. Okay. Right understanding, identification, to trust understand. Right understanding. Okay. So we said in the last sessions that we need right understanding, and yeah, living with right understanding and living in all 4 levels of living. Living with right understanding. So right understanding and living at all 4 levels of living with this right understanding. Right? Living as per natural acceptance. Yes, yes, it's the same thing. Right understanding is the natural acceptance. Yeah. So then what is the third one? What is the potential of this person? So when I say potential, when I say potential, do you think desire, thought, and expectations are going on in this person? Somebody said desires, he has desires. Are the desires and thoughts and expectations going on in this person, just like me? Yes. Okay. We don't know what they are. We don't know the content of what desires he has or she has, but whether they are going on or not, that is the potential. Right? It is going on. Yes. So desire, thought, and expectations. Then the 24/7, right? Then the fourth question is the ability. So we'll come to that. But at these 3 levels, now I'll ask the question for you. This is your evaluation of this person, right? What about you? What is your basic aspiration? Is happiness and prosperity continuous? Is that your basic aspiration also? Yes. Okay. So this is same as you, of course. Okay. What is the program of action for you to achieve this happiness and prosperity in a continuity? What is your program of action? Is it right, achieving that right understanding and living with right understanding at all 4 levels of living? Is that the same thing? Okay, great. Thank you. And what about your potential? Do you have desires and thoughts and expectations and running in you also continuously? Is the desire thought selection going on in you also? Okay, yes. So we started off saying that we don't know anything about him or her, this person which we just said, some random human being, and we just noticed that the person's aspiration is same as mine. The person's program to achieve this aspiration is the same as mine. The person also has the same potential as me to achieve this aspiration. So there's so much similarity between that person and me. What is different between that person and me? What is different? What is the difference between that person and me? No, not the name. So let me write that here. So the desires, thoughts, and expectations that are going on are different. That is what makes us different. So his desire, thought, expectations are different from mine. Body is anyway different. Everybody's body is different. If we put that aside, we are evaluating the self of the other. Okay. I think that I should have told in the beginning itself. So evaluation of the other self. So because we said the evaluation of the other self. So this desire thought selection is what is different, and the alignment. So how much of my desire thought selection is in alignment with natural acceptance versus how much of his desire thought selection is in alignment with natural acceptance would be different. If I am more aligned than the other person as far as desire thought expectation is concerned, I can be called, say, more mature or more stable person than the other. Whereas if the other person is more having a more alignment with natural acceptance of the desire thought selection, then that person will be called as more competent. And even at skills level, something could be different. I could be a good painter, he could be a good coder. I could be a good dancer, he could be a good musician. So those are all at the desired expectation level. Abilities, the skills are all different. What is common is my aspiration is same as the others. The program of action to achieve is the same. The potential is the same. There's so much to me. So the other is like me. This feeling, if we do the right evaluation of the self, then we have this feeling that the other is like me. This is respect. This is the right evaluation of the other self. Okay. Any? I can take up 1 or 2 questions. So the feeling that I get that the other is like me, having seen that the other's aspiration is same as mine, the other's program to achieve is same as mine, the other's ability to achieve that happiness in continuity is the same as mine. When I see that, then I have this feeling that the other is like me, and that feeling that the other is like me is a respect towards that human being. And as of today, we can see whether we are evaluating people based on this this way, or whether we are differentiating. There are so many ways we differentiate. I'll briefly mention them actually in the next 5 minutes. But as far as the respect is concerned, do you have any questions? I can take one question.
So we don't have to look into the desire, thought, expectation of the other person when we are defining respect, is it?
Sorry, when we are defining, I missed the last word.
When we are defining respect, we are not looking into the desire, thought, and expectations in the other person, is it?
Yeah, so when we are evaluating the self, there could be differences in desire, thought, expectation, and how how much of that is aligned with their natural acceptance, and that indicates like what is the kind of person that person is and all that. But first of all, to be able to see that the other is also like me in most of the the other's ability is same, the other's aspiration is same, the other's program is same, then if somebody is more competent than me, then I would want to learn. What is the feeling I would have when I come across somebody more competent than me? With all this, after seeing this kind of evaluation, what is the feeling I would have when we come across somebody who is more competent than me? I would want to learn from them. And if I come across somebody who is less competent than me, I would have a sense of responsibility towards that person. Right? So, so fundamentally, the other is like me. That feeling is the right evaluation of the other self. Oh, there is some technical issue actually. Okay, let's start. Yeah. So that is the right evaluation of the other self, and this feeling is respect. Anything else that we do apart from this would be differentiation. So let me, in the couple of minutes that I have, I will mention, please think about it, and maybe you can ask this in the questions. We differentiate in so many ways. So we differentiate based on body. We differentiate based on physical facilities. We differentiate based on beliefs. Right? So body, for example, we differentiate based on gender. We differentiate people based on race. We differentiate people based on age. We differentiate people based on their strength. And we differentiate people based on wealth. We differentiate people based on post, position. We differentiate people based on their belief systems, like the isms, that means the religions or communalism, say, secularism, etc., various forms of isms. And then we differentiate based on sects. So there are so many ways we differentiate people on. Whereas the self, actually the capacity of the self is the same as mine, every human being. And we are not able to see this fact. In fact, the whole World War II was fought on the fact that they could not recognize that all the selves have the same capability. There are some races more superior to the other. The self in some races is more superior than other selves. And this whole World War II is about eliminating few races. Right? Imagine that a lack of understanding about this fact called respect, about evaluating the other self, can cause the whole world to fight with each other. That's the kind of things that can happen if we differentiate each other. And you also look at gender. So women are not evaluated properly. They are under-evaluated at often as far as the abilities of their self are concerned. And that results into all these movements. The women, we see that happening. That it happens against men also in some occasions. And the girl child versus boy child. So much in some countries the girl child is preferred. In some countries the boy child is preferred. Whereas the capability of the self is the same, whether it is the girl child or the boy child. The body may be different, but as far as the self is concerned, it is the same. And this age. So we have taken this example, respect elders. We have been taught that so much that we forgot the fact that we have to respect the children also. We have to respect our peers also. We have to respect our colleagues also. Right? So all this, any form of wrong evaluation of the self will lead to disrespect and will lead to struggles between people. So we see, look at how we relate to people. People with more wealth or position or post, they're trying to relate to those people more. Oh, I know that person. That person is a powerful person. We feel a kind of high in being related to that person. Whereas the actual respect is independent of all those things. The capability of all the selves is the same. And similarly, based on the belief systems. Right? We relate easily with some kind of people and not so easily with some other people, because we think that some people are superior than the others. We are not able to see the fact. We are not able to evaluate the fact that at the capability level, every self is the same. The belief, the desire, thought, expectation, which are in the form of conditioning or these assumptions, and all that may vary from each other's. Right? But if you start evaluating people, try to see in your own life how many. On what basis do you respect people, and on what basis do you feel comfortable being respected? So when you go to a bank, if they respect you or give service to you based on the clothes you wear or based on the car in which you come in, do you feel comfortable in that bank? If you go there for a service, do you want them to be servicing you based on the clothes you wear, your height or your color or your race or your religion, caste, or the car you came in? No, right? You want to be respected irrespective of what you are. So yeah, think about it. So we are differentiating people on so many bases in our day-to-day life, whereas the other is actually like me. Every human being is just like me and has the same capacity like me. So yeah, thank you. I think we are 3 minutes past the time. I will stop here. Please reflect upon this. Trust and respect are the fundamental feelings in any relationship. If we have these two, then that relationship will lead into blossom into many other possibilities. And if these two are missing, there is always struggle and stress in that relationship. So please reflect upon these things. There may be a lot of questions, and please make use of the evening session for the questions. I know there are a lot of questions, and please get these clarified, because when you go back and reflect upon, you start participating, living by these understandings. We want you to understand them well before you live by them. So please take advantage of the discussion sessions and ask all your questions and get clarity on these two things, the trust and respect. And you notice that the feeling of respect doesn't need even a single rupee. The expression may need something, but the feeling itself doesn't need any physical facilities. I can have the feeling of respect without even material exchange. And same thing as far as the trust is also concerned. I can have a feeling of trust towards the other, and that will make me comfortable and the other also comfortable. I can have the feeling of respect towards the other, that will make me comfortable and also the other comfortable. And both of them are not at all dependent on physical facilities. They are feelings that can come out of the right understanding of the relationship. Thank you so much for listening, and then we'll meet in the evening session for questions. Bye for now.